Hi everyone, welcome back. I am Matt the Bat. I'm here with my co-host Zach and Tat. Zach, how you doing?
Doing good, doing good.
Good. Well, today's episode isn't going to be too exciting. Uh, Friday we learned that legendary actor Christopher Plummer passed away at 91. The weird thing is, back in the summer when Sean Connery passed, the first actor I thought of, like, oh no, who's next, was actually Christopher Plummer. And I knew they were around the same age, and I'm like, he's getting up there in age. And here we are now, and he has officially moved on.
Yeah.
Um,
Rest in peace.
yes. That, what comes to mind when you think of Christopher Plummer?
You know, the biggest one that I have for me is right front and center that we have right up here, A Sound of Music. It's really hard to say, you know, pick anything else really with him because there is just that that's such a iconic movie. Like my family would play that movie like over and over and over and over and over again. And that's really where kind of where I know him the best.
Me, same as me. I grew up watching The Sound of Music. My mom loved watching that movie. We used to have the VHS copies where it was the two VHS because it was a 3 hour movie,
Right.
just like Titanic. So you would have to stop, take one movie out, put the other one in. Kids, you don't know how the struggle was back then. Having to be in the middle of a movie and then all of a sudden it stopped and you're like, oh yeah, we gotta put the other VHS in. And then you would put it on and realize it's not rewound.
Right.
So then you have to wait and rewind the thing and then get back into it. And you're like, nowadays people are just like, oh, everything's on one, or you can stream everything.
Right.
So the struggle was real.
Look, I remember slight tangent, but I remember the movie Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, where it had like legitimately a 10 minute like intermission, where it was literally for 10 minutes. It was like a thing, and it was, literally said intermission. And if you just wanted to watch the movie, you had to like fast forward through that just to get to the thing.
And I do have my own little story about that movie. I was, it was either middle school or high school. Was having a major surgery, not uncommon in my life. Um, and I remember before going into the surgery, I was watching TV, and it was premiering on either ABC or one of the ABC family channels. They're like, oh, coming a week from this Saturday, the following week, we're going to be premiering The Sound of Music. Like, oh, okay, cool. So I went in for surgery a week prior, and let's just say the surgery didn't go as well as planned. I woke up in the hospital room, and there was no doctor in there yet. There was no nurse in there yet. No parents were there yet. It was like the early morning, and I woke up, and I haven't the little remote was on the hospital on the side of the bed. Turned the remote TV on, just flipping through the channel, got to the channel, and they're like, oh, tonight, the premiere of The Sound of Music. And I was like, I've been asleep for a week. And then my mother comes in, she goes, I go, Mom, it's been a week. She goes, how do you know? I go, The Sound of Music is on. It was, they said a week ago it would premiere in a week. Well, it's premiering tonight. So she goes, oh yes, something happened. I was like, oh, no shit. So that's my little tangent on that's whatever. But yes, I grew up with The Sound of Music. Julia Andrews, another actress that became well known for that, and Mary Poppins at the time. But to me, that's the main role that he's most famous for, like as the main actor. But a lot of his movies that I've seen growing up, outside of The Sound of Music, he's been more the supporting role.
Right, and that's where I kind of feel as if I kind of almost equate him in my mind to a Sean Bean with the he's never the starring role, but his roles are like you remember his roles even like if they're really small.
Hmm.
Like depending on which movie he's in, he can play such a wide range of characters and what it is. You have him as the loving grandfather in A National Treasure, and then you have in Inside Man, you have you have him being kind of the slimy person who's like, I'm holding all this stuff that Gerard Butler is trying to steal all this stuff from.
Not
No,
Gerard
no,
Miller.
Clive
It was Clive Owen.
Clive Owen. There we go.
Denzel Washington in that movie plays the detective.
That's correct.
And Jodie Foster is also trying to figure out what's in the what did they steal that was so valuable.
Right.
Um, and like I said, he played a supporting role in that. A Beautiful Mind, the movie that won Best Picture. Russell Crowe, Jennifer Connelly won Best Supporting Actress. In that movie, he plays a psychiatrist. Um, he is a small role, but once again, when he comes on screen, you know exactly who he is. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the remake, David Fincher movie with Daniel Craig. Um, he's another one. He plays almost like Inside Man, where he hires someone to investigate. You know, the family investigates who murdered their father. You know, in Knives Out also. But in like I said, in The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, he has a more prominent role than in these other movies, but he's still the supporting character next to Daniel Craig and Rooney Mara.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then his final movie, Knives Out, that came out the end of 2019, once again, plays a very small role, but once again, when you see him on screen, you immediately recognize the voice and, the person.
Yeah, he had a very good presence about him
Mm-hmm.
to really catch your eye whenever he was on screen. He really, it's a term in the business. It's called maximizing your minutes. It's like he really maximized every time that he was on screen. He really put his all into it, and you could really see and really feel everything that he was trying to do.
So he died in 91. He won his first Oscar at the age of 82
Mm-hmm.
back in 2011 with the movie Beginners with Ewan McGregor.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if you think about that for a second, he didn't get his first, and he's the oldest actor to ever win an Oscar so far. So far, no one has beaten that age, but right now he holds that record. Which is still kind of like he's been in the business for so long.
Right.
He didn't win his first Oscar until 82 years old. I still have hope. There's no hope.
Yeah, there's still hope for everything, man. I mean,
Um,
he's the one good thing of where just you could kind of see it in his roles and everything else. He never really got like those Nicolas Cage type of things where you from him where he goes like, "What are you doing in this?" Like where it's going like they just show up and do it, and then you have the, this is not a movie. This is just a whatever this was.
well, that's the thing, like National Treasure, like we just mentioned, he's only in the beginning of the movie talking to the younger Benjamin Gates,
Mm-hmm.
just talking about the history of the Gates family. But once again, when he shows up on screen, you hear that voice, and you immediately are drawn in while he, does the voiceover of the history. And that's what sets the movie. His little speech to his grandson sets Benjamin Gates off to want to, hunt treasures,
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, like I said, The Sound of Music is most well known. And when, even now, I'm like, Julia Andrews is getting up there in age. Who's going to be next when it comes to these Hollywood icons
Right.
that have built a career and have let other actors, like, watch them and learn from them. And, we'll see. But, yeah, I wanted to bring this topic up today because it is a, legendary actor. And, if we were doing this last summer, we would have done a whole thing on Sean Connery, which would
Mm-hmm.
have been, from Bond to Indiana Jones to, when he played Jack Ryan. But for now, we're just talking about Christopher Plummer.
And always remember to like, comment, subscribe wherever you are. The podcast is available wherever you want to get your podcast. If we are not there, let us know, and we will get there. Remember to like our Facebook page, Attack Bat Productions. Thanks for listening, everyone.